No, this is... Look at me. Look at the camera.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Hello, fans.
That's gonna be a blooper. It's my channel. She thinks she's taking over. I'm the host, okay? Celebrities.
Singers.
Okay, and we're back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paola for those of you that don't know me, and this is a new episode of Tea Time Talks, and today I have my friend Jasmine. So I always like starting with you telling us a little bit about yourself, what you do, fun facts about you, and then we can go ahead and get into the topics for today's Tea Time Talks.
Yeah, so my name's Jasmine Bailey. I'm a musician and an artist. I currently have been working on just like pursuing and recording music, touring, just trying to like push all fronts on that. So that's been my biggest focus, but I also love to like illustrate, I love to do videos, I love photography, literally any creative medium I'm about. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Well, like that's how we're similar. Jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing.
Yeah.
But right now music has been the forefront.
Okay. So a little background of how we met. So I don't know if you guys remember or if you guys have seen my previous Tea Time Talks. I did one with Alex Morehouse, which is the creator of TGS. So if you guys don't know about her, I'm gonna link down those videos down below. They're super cool, she's super rad. So this whole TGS collective thing, that's how we met. So you became a part of the TGS collective as a musician, and then I looked at it and then I was like, whoa, she's so good. Her music is amazing, you guys. She's not gonna, like, obviously, because she's like, oh, it's my music, but her music is so good. Like, when I listened to it, I was like, oh my god. And I messaged her on Instagram. And I was telling her earlier today that I was so surprised that she didn't have, like, a huge following because her music is that good. So I'll link down her, I can link down your Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes.
I'll link all of that down below on her Instagram and all that stuff. But yeah, it's really good. So I messaged her saying, like, I love your music, blah, blah, blah. And then fast forward to the TGS, what's it called? The mixer?
Mixer.
The launch mixer. And that's when I walked in and I saw her playing and I was like, oh God. I was so happy to see her. And she was just like doing her thing, and I was with my friend Paola. And so like, that's the thing. That's how we met and that's how we became friends. So this is the first time we like hang out.
Yeah, I get to sit down and actually be like, talk about life and process.
Yeah, so we're in her apartment. It's so cute and hippie, and she made us tea. So, coffee.
Coffee too.
Tea time, coffee time, same thing. So she made me some bomb chai tea and she's drinking some coffee. So that's a long intro, but
that's where we are.
Yeah, that's where we are. Okay, so the point, if you guys haven't seen these videos, the point of Tea Time Talks is to start a conversation. It's pretty much just so we can talk about like real issues. Me and Jasmine were just talking about how social media is super cool, but it can be so toxic sometimes and just feel fake. So, I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about what you were saying?
Yeah, I like, especially because we're gonna release this and people are gonna see this, like, I think it's really easy to get caught up in, I guess, the facade of social media. Like, everything looks all bright and aesthetic and, you know, and looks like everybody's doing really great and on their grind. But what I've kind of recently experienced is that sometimes a lot of us are struggling with so many different things, and not enough people, I think, are visible about that. So it's easy to be like on your phone or on your computer looking at people's lives, and especially comparing yourself or being like, wow, this person's, you know, has all this going on, like what am I doing? But in reality, like you're not seeing the whole picture. So I'm trying to be better about just being like even more like authentic and vulnerable on social media, like just to be like, hey, I'm a real person, and like even though it may look one way, there's so much more to the story, and like I'm trying to just like bridge that gap, because I think everybody gets in those states of minds, but nobody's talking about it. Yeah, exactly. So then coming off of that, I wanted to interruptions. Let me put this on a second. Okay, so coming from that, I wanted to have Jasmine talk about how it's been her experience like
starting music, because I know so many people want to start like music and stuff, but the entertainment industry or like music industry, people just, I feel like so many people just get scared and they're like, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, I don't know where to start. So as Jasmine, like I'd say Jasmine is doing a great job. Like she said, obviously we are like trying to like work, and like we still have rent, and we still have like other like real life issues to deal with, but she's been doing so good. So what do you recommend for, or what do you say is like the first step? Like what do you think
on any, like as far as any creative making maybe your hobby or your passion, taking the next step to pursuing it? I think it is hard because I think everybody has like a different journey, and everybody's paths look different. And I for one can say that while I have friends who are like, they teach music, they tour in a band, they play gigs every weekend, and that might work for them. There are other people who I also know who they're happy to just have a day job and to just be in like a band on the weekends and have it more of like a side thing. But I would say that like it really just takes like, you really have to be your own best friend and your biggest advocate first. Like you have to believe in you first before anybody else is gonna believe in you. And so I spend a lot of time making sure that I feel secure in what I'm doing before I like put it out and share, and before I share it with everybody. Like you have to feel really good with what you're doing and like feel really grounded in yourself before you are gonna be ready to share that. Otherwise it's gonna come from like an unstable place. But opening yourself up to social, like different social events, and I personally have grown so much just from meeting new people and like collaborating. Yeah, it's like there's so much growth and opportunity just like hearing somebody else's ideas or being a part of somebody else's project. Like take a step back and realize that like there are bigger components to the picture. So maybe you really want to produce an album, or like you really want to shoot a music video, or whatever your big project is. Like it's important to realize that there's like there are a lot of people with a lot of different skills, and the more that you have the more that you bring in people and kind of highlight other people's skills, I think the better it makes you as an artist. Like really being open to like collaboration and being like, let me hear what you have to think.
Yeah, I think when you were saying that, it clicked so much with me because, for example, when I first started as TGS, so I'm in part of TGS as a model, which is like something I would have never thought I would have done, just because like, yeah, I wanted to model when I was younger, but I never thought I would be like, oh, I'm a model, you know? And so you were saying like you have to believe in yourself first. And once again, to something we were talking earlier, is we were saying that sometimes it feels like, oh, I can't really collaborate with this person because she has like bigger, like more following or whatever, or you know. So like you just have to be, I feel, confident. And I'd say for me, like when I first went to the TGS, like people would ask me like, oh, are you a model? I'm like, oh, like yeah. Like I wouldn't be like, I'm a model. I would be like, well, yeah,
but I also do all these other
yeah, things. Exactly. Like, so I feel like that's like a huge thing. So I love that you said like you really have to be confident, just really believe in yourself.
Yeah, and that takes work. I mean, it's not every day that we're like always gonna feel 100% confident in ourselves. But another thing is like I'm a huge believer in just being like, just try. Like so many opportunities that I've gotten and like really wonderful like exchanges that I've got to have literally been because I was just like, let me just go ahead and ask and try. Like the worst thing that can happen is someone who says no. Yeah. That's kind of always what I tell myself. So like I had the opportunity, I got to open for like one of my all-time favorite bands here in San Diego. Like they're internationally acclaimed, Marty O'Reilly and the Old Soul Orchestra, love them. And
so cool. I've never heard of them.
They're like I'll link them below because they're amazing. And I was just a fan. I just really loved their work. It really moved me. And then I just saw that they were playing a show in San Diego and they didn't have an opener. And I was like, what are the chances that I could open for them? And I just emailed him and I was like, hey, like I know this is a shot in the dark, but like, do you need an opener? I live in San Diego. And they said yes. And that was like, now like we're friends and like I get to talk to him and he gives me advice. And so you just really never know, and it doesn't hurt to try. Like I think that like it can be a little presumptuous and it can feel kind of weird to be like, who am I to like ask this person with 1 million followers or whatever. But seriously, like you just never know, and that's kind of what I tell myself. Well, just try.
Yeah, no, I feel
like you reaching out to me and being like, I don't know what this chick is gonna say, like I don't know who she is, you know, but also like turns out like I'm alright, and like now we're friends.
And like now we're friends and like we're the same age and we actually have a lot in common.
Yeah.
So it's just in the creative world or like whatever, you just really just putting yourself out there. And for example, collaborating can feel so scary just because, or like I feel like also like deep down we would be like, oh, competition or like whatever, but I don't know, it's just, life is crazy, like you never know where you're gonna end up. Also like, for example, well like in any, like you said you reached out to them, just like doing something, cause I'm getting more into like when you're in a funk, what do you do?
Oh, when I'm in a funk, like, oh man, like inspiration block.
Cause I'm getting more into that and I'm like, okay, I can't do this.
I can't, this is really relevant because I'm just kind of getting out of a funk, a little slump.
Perfect.
I think it's important to, for me at least, I've just had to kind of allow myself to be in a funk, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, it makes so much sense.
Like, especially as a creative person, if you're really hard on yourself and you really like, I really want to, you know, I want to be great, I want to work on the next thing, but you're just not feeling it. I think there's probably a deeper reason why we're feeling maybe hesitation or feeling blocked, and I think it's important to like dig deep into that and like you don't necessarily need to like figure out why you're feeling bad, but it's important not to force it, because then when you do get around to creating art, it's not going to be like real. So something that I've been doing lately is like, okay, I'm feeling shitty and I'm not feeling inspired. Rather than beating myself up for that and really trying to like force it and trying to get something out of myself, I just kind of like, I've chosen the opposite approach, which is like take a step, take a breath. Like I've been dancing more. I like to hike, like get away, get out of get out of your mind for a second and like just allow yourself to process it in the way, even if you're not fully understanding like why you're in a funk or how long it's gonna last. I think it's important to just be like, all right, well, this is where I'm at and I just need to go through it. Like you can't escape it, so just go through it.
Yeah, you really can't, especially because I get in so many funks too. And don't you ever, okay, for me, my mom always reminds me like, you're barely 20. For me, it's like, oh my god, I'm already 20. No, but like I freak out. I'm like, oh my god, I'm already 20. I'm gonna like, I don't even know what I want to do yet. Like, what am I doing? I get in so many funks like every month, and it's just like, don't you ever feel like we're so extra, but then you think like we're so young.
Yeah.
Like, what's the rush? Like, my mom always like even my sister. My sister is 23. I think she's gonna turn 24. Yeah, she's gonna turn 24 in April. Yeah, she's gonna turn 24 in April. And she'll be like, you're fine. Like, I'm 24 and I realize that I'm young. Now you're like 4 years younger. Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
But
are you the youngest?
I'm the baby.
Me too. So I feel like that's the thing, like you're like, I already saw you're like, I have the examples ahead of me, and so you're like, I want to figure out a way to avoid that and kind of be ahead of the curve. Like, yeah, no, that's a good point. Like, we're so young, we have so much time, but also like, I have goals.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just feel like if you guys can relate, if you're like a motivated person, you're like, you know what you want and you have your goals and your vision so set, but you're just not exactly sure how to get there, or you're like having a hard time getting there.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like funks are kind of the best though.
Somebody told me a really great piece of advice one time, which was that you have to create the tragic and the magic. So and so like it's not going to be wonderful all the time, and it's important that you kind of like, just like your funks are there for a reason. Like you can't constantly be on the ball creating all the time. You have to have that time of like rest and kind of a period of like nothingness. You think it's nothingness, but actually you're taking everything in, and it's just all going to like the back burners. And then later it turns like when it finally does hit you, it's kind of like, oh, that's why I needed to be, in a period of like weirdness
it's like
for a
everything
month.
happens for a reason.
Exactly, like you needed to be in that time to kind of intake the new information for the next time that you get inspired. Like you can't just constantly be like creating and like plugging out things. Some people can. I can't. I found like though
it's kind of draining.
It's like the ebb and flow of things, but you may think that nothing's going on, but I think like your brain is taking in that inspiration
and knowing or
exactly
realizing it.
Yeah, so every time I'm like, I'm not inspired, like nothing's happening, I just try to tell myself like maybe you are and you just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Like
that's so true. That makes so much sense.
I think it's important to just remember, like, take a breath, tune in with yourself, and figure out like where do I want to be and like what's gonna be the best for me right now, and
don't let society choose for you.
Exactly, and like we're all in the same boat. Like you're not alone. And it's important to remember that.
Yeah. So that's where we're gonna finish off the tea time talks. If you guys like this, I know we were like kind of all over the place because I was telling Jasmine like usually I start with like something, but like I did not prepare anything. Like I did not prepare last night, so right now I just like started with like
rant.
Okay, yeah. So, but I love this because it's not planned. Like we did not plan any of this, and we kind of just talked from like what she said and then what I thought and blah blah blah. So if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you guys have questions, write them, comment down below because we can always like film another video. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Also follow her on Instagram because she's amazing. And then everything's gonna be down below. Comment, like, and hope you guys like this video. Thank you so much for being on my channel. Cheers. The coffee and the tea. It's cold by now, but it's still perfect. Well, anyways, hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys in my next Tea Time Talks. Bye!